chatting this time with Nick Jones, goaltender for the U18 AAA Calgary Buffaloes. Nick, you only got 4 games in with the U18s, unfortunately, because of the pandemic-shortened season. But how do you think those 4 games went for you?
They ended up going really well. It was disappointing, obviously, to see it end. We had a really solid team. So, obviously, coming off the max last year as the third guy, I was looking to come back and win another one for the guys. But we didn't get that opportunity. But I went out and I kind of took it with a grain of salt. Like, I wasn't sure that we were going to have a season. So I was like, 4 games is better than nothing. Go out and do what I can. And that's exactly what I did. I put up some good numbers and I basically did everything I could to help the team win those 4 games.
Nice. You mentioned the Max tournament, and obviously being a Calgary kid, that had to have been a pretty big thrill for you, even though, like you say, you were just the third guy on that Buffaloes team. That was a pretty good team to be around.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And that helped me this year too, is going into the league and kind of knowing what it's about and talking to the vets and, kind of getting a feel for the league, and hopefully was planning on going to that tournament, and I would have kind of known what the environment's like and kind of been the guy there. So it's disappointing, but definitely a cool experience to be there.
The Calgary Buffaloes program overall is a pretty solid one. How has it helped develop you as an elite goaltender?
Well, it's helped me all the way through my first year playing Bantam AAA, and then up through obviously this year, for whatever we can call it as a season. But, just great coaching staff, great management. You go to the rink every day and you kind of know what you're going to get. It's always professional. It's the same thing every day. So going there for 4 or 5 years now just really helped me grow, not only on the ice, but off the ice as a person and as an athlete.
The league itself has evolved the last couple of years as it becomes the Alberta Elite Hockey League. Have you noticed the program perhaps doing a better job of developing you and the other players that are coming up through the ranks now?
For sure, yeah. Just the way everything's set up, right? It goes through like a 24, 25 game season, and then you see guys get drafted and then go on to play midget AAA, and then they're off to junior, right? So you see a lot of success out of this league, and I think that comes by how it's set up and the professionalism. And like I said, on and off the ice, the way that they're preparing these kids is just there's nothing to match that.
And you've played in some elite events already. I know I got the chance to watch you play at the 2019 Alberta Cup, where you not only played at it in Red Deer, but you were the tournament MVP on your way to backstopping your team to a victory. Take us back to that. What do you remember from your Alberta Cup experience a couple of years ago?
Well, obviously, I remember that championship. It was huge. It was exciting, fun to be around all the guys. It's definitely a memory that I'll have the rest of my life. Now, those are friendships that I'm going to remember always, right? Just those guys I played with. And, it's the times on and off the ice too, like being in a dorm for a week with a bunch of guys that you go in, you don't really know. And then you kind of get to know them because they're really the only people you see for that week. So it was awesome to kind of meet the guys that you only really see them on the ice, right? Like, especially those guys from the north. I don't see them down in the south very often, especially don't talk to them. So when I got to kind of talk to some of the guys off the ice, see what they're about, it's a little better than just chirping on the ice,
Yeah, for sure. And then speaking of elite events, you also played at the WHL Cup. So not only do you get a taste of the other elite players from Alberta that you got to play with, but across the Western provinces as well, which is a nice segue as you hopefully work towards becoming the future starting goaltender for the Brandon Wheat Kings.
For sure. Yeah, it was a really cool event. Again, it was another week with more guys that I didn't know. And then also talking to the guys from other teams and, seeing how they perform and how they prepare. Like, you kind of take different things from different guys, right? So it's kind of cool to see like how different things are done in the different provinces, and you kind of see who you're going to be playing with or against in those next levels.
So you're 6 foot tall now, not overly tall compared to some of the massive goaltenders we see in the NHL, but are you hoping to add a little bit more size as you continue developing your game over the next few years?
I'm hoping to. I don't know how much more height I'll get. I'm looking for hopefully another inch and a half, 2 inches if I'm lucky, but I don't have the height advantage from my parents, but I'm working more off the ice on the strength and stuff, getting quicker and stronger, which I've had a good chance to do that over the last little bit with no hockey, obviously. So that's kind of been my main focus. Like, I'm not expecting to be like the biggest guy out there, But if I can be the fastest and the strongest out there to be able to square up to pucks and get there to make the easy save, then I'm doing my job.
For sure. Two-part question, I guess. How would you describe your style of goaltending, and who are some of the guys you perhaps try to model your game after?
I'd say I'm pretty calm in the net. I'm athletic, but I'm not overly I don't go into the splits a whole lot. I like to be square to the puck. My style is more get there and make the easy save than like make the flashy save. Like, I mean, it's always cool to make those one or two flashy saves, but if you can make that save in a way that's not going to pull your groin, then you might want to do that, right? But yeah, I've modeled my game. The biggest guy I can think of would be Braden Holtby, because growing up, like watching him, he was my favorite goalie. And then I was lucky enough, obviously, there's a couple things on the internet about his pregame rituals and his routine and stuff. And so ever since probably Adam, maybe Pee Wee, I kind of implemented some parts of his off-ice stuff into mine. And that kind of helped me shape what I do now. Like as I grew up, I've started to do more things that work for me and whatever it might be. But it all kind of started with him and how he plays. And then another guy that I like to think of more for his puck handling than anything, but it'd be Mike Smith, just because how aggressive he is and like how smart he is for playing the puck. I try to, like, when I get the chance, I play the puck, and I don't like to just leave it there. I mean, if that's the play, then that's the play. But if I have the opportunity, it's hitting the winger, hitting the stretch, whatever it might be. But trying to get, the play going instead of making my D-man come back and avoid him getting killed.
He's a pretty intense goalie. Do you have the same kind of stare as him sometimes when you get locked into battle out there?
It depends. I'm usually pretty calm. I can get fired up every now and then. Like if competition, it's like, maybe it's a 1-goal game. Like I try to stay calm because like those are the times where my team needs me, right? Like I give up that 1 goal because I'm a hothead, and then next thing you know, not everyone's very happy with me. So I don't know. It depends. Like it depends on the guys too. Like there's certain guys that you play against, and you're like you really just don't like the guy, or even just the guy on the ice, you don't like him. So that kind of gets you going. But
all about staying composed, right? Like you said, with your playing style, keep that under control. Between the years as well, important to stay level-headed so you can provide that steady leadership back there, right?
For sure, yeah.
Cool. Any goaltender coaches or mentors that have stood out for you over the years too?
Yeah, I've had multiple. My goalie coach, longtime goalie coach, Johnny Webb. He was my goalie coach through before my time in quadrant hockey, and then through all of my Buffaloes teams. He's been my coach. So he's been around. He knows me. I know him. I can bounce things off of him, get different opinions. And then another guy, my coach at WHL Cup, Derek Burfield, he's been around again with me for a long time. Another guy that I can always ask questions, and he's always going to give me a good answer. Never really pressured me into anything. Just a good guy to have there from the mental standpoint and a gameplay standpoint.
Finally, last December, or just a couple months ago, you signed your standard player agreement with the Brandon Wheat Kings. Is like that the goal moving forward, is to at some point work your way into the starters net for the Wheaties and see what happens from there?
For sure, yeah. I basically knew from the time of the draft that like that's what I wanted to do, but I had some time to develop and to kind of make that decision. But when the opportunity came up, I knew that was what was for me. It was clear in my mind that that's where I want to be and I can be there. So, I was up there, I guess it would have been almost 2 years ago now, but right after the draft, and it was like such a class organization, like everything about them I loved. So like to me, it was just a no-brainer to go ahead with that. So, I mean, obviously I wish them the best of luck in the bubble this year, and then hopefully be there next year.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes for Brandon and the other WHL teams in that Eastern Hub. And we'll be watching with keen interest to see how things go for you moving forward, Nick. Thanks very much for doing this. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to it.